Hello, welcome to the print. I am Amna Begam Ansari. The Indian government has formed seven all party delegations to travel across the world, a group of 51 political leaders and eight former ambassadors, headed to 25 countries with the aim of countering global narrative on cross border terrorism, especially in the context of Pakistan. This is India's move to present its side on the world stage. Some have even called it a narrative war. But even as this effort unfolds, another story is making national and international headlines. Ali Khan Mahmudabad, a professor, has been arrested for writing a Facebook post. And no matter how many delegations are formed, it's an incident like this that quietly shapes how India is seen from the outside. Reading the Facebook post, I honestly couldn't quite figure out what led to FIR. Yes, there were things I disagree with and things I agree with too in this post, but disagreement isn't a crime. What sentiment did it really hurt? What national interest did it damage? Whose sensibilities did it offend in a way that justified legal action? It's hard to say. Ironically, one of the two FIRs was filed by the chairman of the Haryana Women's Commission, who claimed that the professor's comment undermined women officers, but she could not clearly explain what exactly was offensive about the post when asked about it on the national television. The language weren't abusive, there was no hate speech, and all of this such days after a few days what Vijay Singh, a sitting minister, said about Colonel Sophia Qureshi. He actually called Colonel Sophia Qureshi terrorist sisters. In that case, there was no FIR, no action, nothing. I'm not saying that he should be arrested. I don't believe in FIRs for every offensive remark, but still, he holds public office, and his comment was clearly targeted and irresponsible. Meanwhile, a professor posts something you may or may not agree with, and he ends up in the jail. That contrast in is hard to ignore and harder to explain. What stood out in all this was that many influential right wing voices, people who clearly disagreed with the professor, still spoke up in the defense of his right to express himself. And that matters because disagreement and criticisms are normal, even necessary, but demanding silence is something else entirely. The fact that voices more likely to oppose him chose to speak about freedom instead of taking offense shows that we still understand the line that shouldn't be crossed. It doesn't fix the problem, but it does remind us that not everyone has abandoned the basics. There has been some discussion around this case about freedom of speech and hurting religious sentiment. This conversation need to happen, but the thing is this post didn't break any laws similar to this. The Supreme Court has now granted him bail, but with condition he has to surrender his passport and is barred from speaking or writing anything more about this post or Operation Sindoor. During the hearing, the court described his post as a dog whistling. Justice Surya Kant said, yes, everyone has the right to free speech, but is it the time to talk about all this? He questioned why someone would speak out to get cheap popularity during such a time. And it makes me wonder, are we saying that as a nation we can't handle different ideas, that we are too fragile to disagree? If free speech comes with warnings about timing and tone, then is it really free, or is it just something granted in moment of calm and taken away when it feels inconvenient? That's where the discomfort begins. Saying that freedom of speech isn't about what you say, but when you say it and how it's perceived, is a slippery slope. Suddenly, it's not about the law anymore. It become about mood, about timing, about what's convenient, and that's a thin line of for any democracy, especially when the cost of stepping over is a jail cell. Uh, It's in our legacy as a Hindustan to have space to speak the truth, to speak one's own mind. This land has always held space for different ideas, even uncomfortable ones. I have read and heard things I strongly disagree with, but still, I have always believed that we as a society are capable of disagreeing without falling apart, that we can talk, debate, and question without needing to criminalize every difference. And that's the country I know where ideas clash, but people still share space, where truth is not something to be timed well, and though isn't something to be feared. If we lose that, we don't just lose free speech, we lose something deeper, something that's held this place together for longer than any law or court ruling has. For more such a video, keep watching Print. Thank you.